I'm not here to sell you some get-rich-quick scheme. I've been around long enough to know that true wealth, sustainable wealth, comes from a foundation of solid principles, disciplined action, and extraordinary thinking. What I am here to do is challenge your assumptions about what's possible when you combine the right mindset with the right actions in today's extraordinary economy. You see, becoming a millionaire in 6 months isn't about luck or magic. It's about understanding certain fundamental truths about wealth creation that most people never learn. It's about seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. And most importantly, it's about taking massive, intelligent action while others are still contemplating whether something is possible. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between someone who becomes a millionaire in 6 months and someone who spends 40 years working and never accumulates significant wealth? Is it intelligence? Sometimes, but not usually. Is it connection? Sometimes, but not necessarily. Is it starting capital? Sometimes, but I've seen people start with next to nothing and create fortunes faster than those who had every advantage. No, the real difference is in how they think, what they know, and what they're willing to do. And that's what we're going to explore today. The millionaire mindset, it all begins here. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with your mindset. The way you think determines what you see, what you attempt, and ultimately what you was. Most people have a mindset of scarcity. They believe that wealth is limited, that success is for the lucky few, that if someone else wins, they must lose. And with that mindset, they've already lost before they've begun. The millionaire mindset is fundamentally different. It's a mindset of abundance, a deep understanding that we live in a world of infinite possibilities and unlimited wealth. There's no quota on success. There's no limit to how many people can become millionaires or billionaires. Let me tell you something profound. Your current financial situation is a direct reflection of your current mindset about money. If you want to change your financial situation dramatically and rapidly, you must first change your mindset dramatically and rapidly. How do you develop a millionaire mindset? It begins with what you feed your mind. You must become a student of wealth. Read the biographies of self-made millionaires. Study how fortunes are built in today's economy. Immerse yourself in the principles of wealth creation until they become second nature. Here's what I've found. Poor people read for entertainment. Rich people read for education and transformation. They're constantly learning, growing, expanding their understanding of how money works. The average American spends over 4 hours a day watching television. The average millionaire reads at least 1 book per week on business, investing, or personal development. That's not a coincidence, folks. That's cause and effect. But reading isn't enough. You must also surround yourself with the right people. Jim Rohn, yes, that's me. I've often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to become a millionaire in 6 months, you cannot afford to spend your time with negative people, complainers, or those who have settled for mediocrity. Find mentors who have already achieved what you want to achieve. Join masterminds with ambitious, successful people. Network with those who will elevate your thinking and expand your sense of what's possible. And here's the key. You must ruthlessly eliminate the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Beliefs like it takes money to make money, or I don't have the right education, or I don't know the right people. These beliefs are not facts, they're excuses, and they're keeping you from seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you. Replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. I find creative solutions to financial challenges. I attract the right mentors and partners. I see opportunities where others see problems. Your mindset is the fertile soil in which your financial success will grow. Prepare it well, and everything else becomes not just possible, but inevitable. The 6-month acceleration framework. Now let's talk strategy. If you're going to achieve something extraordinary like becoming a millionaire in 6 months, you need an extraordinary framework. Most people approach wealth building like a casual stroll, a little saving here, a small investment there, maybe starting a modest side business that they work on when it's convenient. That approach might get you to retirement with a decent nest egg if you're diligent for 40 years. But it won't create $1 million in 6 months. For that, you need what I call the 6-month acceleration framework. This isn't about working harder, although you will work harder than you ever have. It's about leveraging your time, your knowledge, and your resources in the most efficient way possible. First, you must understand that extraordinary results require extraordinary focus. For these 6 months, you cannot afford to divide your attention among a dozen different objectives. You need a singular focus on high leverage activities that move the needle dramatically toward your $1 million goal. What does this mean practically? It means you need to identify the one skill, the one business model, the one investment strategy that has the potential to generate extraordinary returns in your specific situation. Then you must commit to mastering it completely. If you're in real estate, maybe it's becoming the absolute best at finding distressed properties in a rapidly appreciating market. If you're in sales, perhaps it's mastering high-ticket sales to a specific industry where you already have knowledge. If you're an entrepreneur, it might be scaling a digital product with minimal overhead and maximum profit margins. The key is specificity and focus. A laser beam can cut through steel because all its energy is concentrated in one direction. Your focus must be equally concentrated. Second, you must leverage other people's time, money, and expertise. No one builds a fortune entirely on their own efforts. Look at any self-made millionaire and you'll find they've mastered the art of leverage. They use other people's money to make investments they couldn't afford on their own. They build teams that multiply their own productivity. They partner with others who have complementary skills and resources. In today's connected economy, this is easier than ever. You can raise capital through traditional investors, crowdfunding, or strategic partnerships. You can build virtual teams of talented professionals anywhere in the world. You can form joint ventures with established businesses that give you immediate credibility and access to their customer base. The third element of the framework is rapid execution and iteration. In 6 months, you don't have time for perfect plans or endless preparation. You need to launch quickly, get market feedback, and adjust in real time. This means embracing imperfection. Your first product won't be perfect. Your first marketing campaign won't be perfect. Your first investment won't be perfect. But by launching quickly and improving based on real-world feedback, you'll make progress in weeks that might otherwise take years. Remember, done is better than perfect. Revenue solves almost all business problems. And market feedback is worth more than any theory of prediction. The fourth element is what I call asymmetric risk management. Traditional financial advice focuses on avoiding risk. But to create extraordinary wealth in a short time frame, you need to take intelligent risks where the potential upside far outweighs the downside. Look for opportunities where you might lose a little if things go wrong, but gain a fortune if things go right. These asymmetric bets are the secret to rapid wealth creation. They're how fortunes are made while others are playing it safe, earning 8% in the stock market and wondering why they never get ahead. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means being strategic about where and how you take risks. It means understanding the difference between a gamble where the odds are against you and calculated risk where the odds are in your favor if you have specialized knowledge or skills. The fifth element of the framework is the relentless elimination of anything that doesn't serve your primary objective. For 6 months, you must be willing to say no to almost everything else in your life. Social events that don't involve networking with valuable contacts, no. Entertainment that doesn't educate or inspire you toward your goal, no. Projects or opportunities that might be profitable but will distract from your primary focus, no. This level of discipline isn't easy. But remember, we're talking about compressing what might normally be a 10-year journey into just 6 months. That kind of compression requires extraordinary focus and elimination. The final element is accountability and measurement. You need precise metrics to track your progress, and you need accountability to ensure you're taking the necessary actions consistently. Set weekly and monthly targets that, if achieved, will put you on track for your $1 million goal. Track your key performance indicators daily. Have an accountability partner or coach who will hold you to your commitments and challenge you when you're falling short. When you combine these 6 elements, singular focus, strategic leverage, rapid execution, asymmetric risk, ruthless elimination, and strict accountability, you create a framework that can produce extraordinary results in a compressed time frame. The Wealth Accelerators, where the real money is made. Now, let's talk about specific vehicles for rapid wealth creation. I call these wealth accelerators because they have the potential to compress decades of wealth building into months when approached with the right strategy and execution. The first wealth accelerator is high-ticket sales and services. One of the fastest paths to $1 million is selling high-value products or services to a select group of clients who can afford premium prices. Think about it. At a $100 price point, you need 10,000 customers to reach $1 million. At a $10,000 price point, you need only 100 customers. At a $100,000 price point, you need just 10 customers. The effort required to acquire 10 premium customers is often less than what's required to acquire 10,000 budget customers. The sales cycle might be longer, but the return on your time and energy is exponentially higher. What high-value product or service could you offer? What specialized knowledge do you have that others would pay a premium to access? What problem can you solve for businesses or affluent individuals who are already spending money to solve that problem? The second wealth accelerator is strategic real estate investments. Even in today's market, real estate remains one of the most reliable vehicles for creating substantial wealth. But I'm not talking about buying a single rental property and waiting for it to appreciate. I'm talking about strategic approaches that accelerate both cash flow and equity growth. This might mean focusing on distressed properties you can acquire significantly below market value, quickly renovate, and either sell for an immediate profit or refinance to pull out your initial investment plus profit while keeping the cash flowing asset. It might mean identifying emerging markets where properties are still affordable but poised for significant appreciation due to economic trends, infrastructure development, or changing demographics. It might mean creative financing strategies that allow you to control valuable properties with minimal capital out of pocket, such as lease options, seller financing, or joint ventures with capital partners. The third wealth accelerator is scalable digital businesses. We live in an unprecedented era where you can create a product once and sell it thousands or even millions of times with minimal additional cost. Digital products, online courses, membership sites, software as a service, these business models offer extraordinary profit margins and scalability. Once the initial development costs are covered, the marginal cost of serving additional customers is negligible. Moreover, these businesses can be highly automated, allowing you to scale without a proportional increase in time investment or operational complexity. A single online course that solves a significant problem for a specific market could generate millions in revenue with the right marketing and sales system behind it. A software tool that automates a time-consuming process for businesses could command monthly subscription fees from thousands of grateful customers. The fourth wealth accelerator is strategic investments in high-growth sectors. While traditional investment advice focuses on diversification and long-term modest returns, extraordinary wealth creation often comes from concentrated positions in the right opportunities at the right time. This might mean investing in early-stage companies with massive growth potential, particularly in sectors undergoing technological disruption or rapid expansion. It might mean positioning yourself in cryptocurrency projects with strong fundamentals and real-world utility before they achieve mainstream adoption. It might mean identifying macroeconomic trends and investing in assets that will benefit disproportionately from those trends, whether certain commodities, specific real estate markets, or particular industries. The key is to combine deep research with specialized knowledge in a particular domain, allowing you to see opportunities that others miss and have the conviction to take significant positions when the risk-reward ratio is in your favor. The fifth wealth accelerator is what I call audience monetization. In today's connected world, the engaged audience is one of the most valuable assets you can build. This might mean developing a substantial social media following, building an email list of people interested in a specific topic, creating a popular YouTube channel or podcast, or establishing yourself as a thought leader in a lucrative industry. Once you have this audience, there are countless ways to monetize it. Selling your own products and services, promoting other people's offerings as an affiliate, securing sponsorships and advertising, licensing your content, or even raising capital for investments from your followers. What's remarkable about this approach is that the audience itself becomes an appreciating asset. As your reach and influence grow, so does your earning potential, often exponentially rather than linearly. The sixth wealth accelerator is strategic acquisitions and flips. This applies not just to real estate, but to businesses, websites, intellectual property, and other assets. The strategy is fundamentally simple. Identify undervalued assets that you can acquire, improve quickly, and then sell for a substantial profit or keep for long-term cash flow. In the business world, this might mean acquiring struggling companies with good fundamentals at a discount, implementing operational improvements and modern marketing strategies, and then selling them for several times what you paid. In the digital realm, it might mean purchasing established websites with traffic but poor monetization, optimizing their revenue streams, and flipping them for a multiple of annual profits. The key to success with this accelerator is developing expertise in valuation, negotiation, and rapid improvement of specific types of assets. When you become known as someone who can turn around a certain kind of business or property, opportunities will often come to you through referrals and your professional network. These six wealth accelerators share important characteristics. They all offer leverage, scalability, and the potential for exponential rather than linear returns. When approached with the right strategy and executed with discipline, any one of them could potentially generate $1 million in 6 months. The question is not whether these vehicles work, they demonstrably do, as evidenced by thousands of self-made millionaires who have used them. The question is whether you'll dedicate yourself to mastering one of them with the level of commitment required for extraordinary results. The daily disciplines of rapid wealth creators. Let's talk about execution. Ideas are common, implementation is rare. Knowing what to do is just the beginning. Actually doing it consistently, excellently, persistently, that's where most people fall short. The daily disciplines of rapid wealth creators are what separate those who achieve extraordinary results from those who merely have good intentions. First and foremost is extreme ownership. You must take 100% responsibility for your results. No blaming market conditions, lack of opportunities, or other people. No excuses, no justifications, no rationalizations. If you're not where you want to be financially, it's because of the decisions you've made and the actions you've taken or failed to take. This might sound harsh, but it's actually empowering, because if your current circumstances are the result of your choices, then your future circumstances can be different through different choices. The moment you truly accept that your financial destiny is in your own hands, not your boss's hands, not the government's hands, not the economy's hands, but your hands, everything changes. You move from victim to victor, from passenger to pilot. The second daily discipline is time mastery. The brutal truth is that most people waste most of their time on low-value activities that will never move the needle toward significant wealth. Checking email constantly, scrolling social media, watching Netflix, engaging in office gossip, attending meetings that don't drive results. These activities fill our days but empty our bank accounts. Rapid wealth creators are ruthless with their time. They understand that time is the one resource that can never be recovered once spent. They audit their time used regularly and eliminate, delegate, or streamline anything that doesn't contribute directly to their primary wealth-building objective. They practice time blocking, scheduling their most important wealth-building activities first, and protecting that time as sacred. They batch similar tasks to minimize context switching. They eliminate distractions during their deep work sessions, often working in 90-minute focused blocks followed by brief recovery periods. The third daily discipline is immersive learning. Rapid wealth creators are obsessive learners, but their learning is highly targeted. They don't consume information randomly. They hunt for specific knowledge that gives them an edge in their chosen wealth vehicle. If they're building an e-commerce business, they become experts in supply chain optimization, conversion rate enhancement, and customer retention strategies. If they're investing in commercial real estate, they become experts in cap rates, financing options, and market trend analysis for specific property types. This learning isn't casual or passive, it's immersive and applied. They read the book, take the course, attend the seminar, hire the coach, and then immediately apply what they've learned in the real world where theory meets reality. The fourth daily discipline is strategic relationship building. No one builds substantial wealth in isolation. Rapid wealth creators understand that their network is their net worth, and they invest in it accordingly. Every day, they take actions to expand and strengthen their professional relationships. They reach out to potential mentors, partners, clients, and investors. They provide value first, looking for ways to help others before asking for anything in return. They understand that one right relationship can literally save them years of effort by providing critical insights, introductions, or opportunities. So they prioritize attending the right events, joining the right groups, and connecting with the right people who can accelerate their journey. The fifth daily discipline is high leverage activity focus. Not all actions are created equal. Some activities produce exponential returns, others merely keep you busy without moving you forward. Rapid wealth creators ruthlessly prioritize high leverage activities, those that have the potential to produce outsized results, relative to the time and energy invested. They ask themselves continuously, is this the highest and best use of my time right now given my specific wealth goal? Making sales calls to high-ticket prospects, high leverage. Redesigning your logo for the third time, low leverage. Negotiating a potential acquisition, high leverage. Organizing your email inbox, low leverage. They understand that being busy is not the same as being productive. They would rather complete 3 high-leverage activities in a day than 20 low-leverage ones. The sixth daily discipline is relentless execution. Ideas are worthless without implementation. Plans are meaningless without action. Rapid wealth creators execute relentlessly, even when they don't feel like it, even when they're uncertain, even when they face obstacles. They understand that motion creates clarity. By taking action, you get feedback. From feedback, you gain insights. From insights, you make adjustments. From adjustments, you improve your results. While others are waiting for perfect conditions or complete certainty, rapid wealth creators are launching, testing, measuring, and refining. They understand that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. The seventh daily discipline is strategic recovery. This might seem counterintuitive in a discussion about rapid wealth creation, but it's actually essential. You cannot maintain peak performance without strategic recovery periods. Rapid wealth creators understand that their mind and body are their most important assets. They protect these assets through proper sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress management. They schedule regular periods of complete disconnection from their work to recharge their creative energy and maintain perspective. This isn't self-indulgence, it's strategic performance enhancement. Just as elite athletes incorporate recovery into their training regimens to achieve peak performance, rapid wealth creators incorporate recovery into their work rhythms to sustain the intense focus and energy required for extraordinary achievement. When you integrate these 7 daily disciplines into your life, extreme ownership, time mastery, immersive learning, strategic relationship building, high leverage activity focus, relentless execution, and strategic recovery, you create the conditions for extraordinary financial results. These disciplines, practiced consistently over 6 months, can literally transform your financial trajectory. But the key word is practiced. Knowledge without application is merely entertainment. These disciplines must become part of your daily operating system, not just concepts you understand intellectually. Overcoming the inevitable obstacles. Now, let's be real. The path to creating $1 million in 6 months will not be smooth or easy. You will face obstacles, setbacks, and challenges that will test your resolve and make you question whether this is really possible. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary financial results and those in the absence of obstacles, it's how they respond to those obstacles. The first and perhaps most common obstacle is what I call the belief backlash. When you set an extraordinary goal like becoming a millionaire in 6 months, part of your mind will immediately begin generating reasons why this is impossible, impractical, or unrealistic. This is normal. Your subconscious is trying to protect you from potential disappointment or failure. But you must recognize these limiting thoughts for what they are, fear disguised as practicality, and consciously choose to move past them. Whenever you notice these limiting beliefs arising, immediately replace them with empowering questions. How can I make this possible? Who has already achieved something similar, and what can I learn from them? What would have to be true for this to work? The second obstacle is what I call the complexity trap. As you begin working toward your goal, you'll encounter complexities and details that weren't apparent at the outset. These can quickly become overwhelming if you try to tackle everything at once. The solution is radical simplification and sequencing. Break down your $1 million goal into clear phases. Identify the critical path, the sequence of essential steps that must happen in a specific order. Focus exclusively on the next step in that sequence, ignoring everything else until that step is complete. Remember, complexity is the enemy of execution. Simplify, focus, complete, then move to the next step. The third obstacle is what I call the cash flow gap. In many wealth-building strategies, there's a period where your expenses exceed your income as you invest in growth. This cash flow gap can create tremendous pressure and cause many would-be millionaires to abandon their plans prematurely. Anticipate this gap and plan for it. Create a cash reserve before you begin. Identify alternative income sources that can sustain you during the building phase. Structure your initiatives to generate some early cash flow, even if it's not yet at the scale you ultimately envision. The fourth obstacle is what I call the expectation disconnect. We live in a world of instant gratification where we expect immediate results for our efforts. But substantial wealth creation, even when compressed into 6 months, doesn't usually progress in a straight line. More often it follows what I call the exponential curve: slow progress at first, followed by rapid acceleration once certain thresholds are crossed. The challenge is maintaining faith and effort during the early flat part of that curve when the results don't yet match your expectations or efforts. Combat this by celebrating process victories, not just outcome victories. Did you make all your sales calls today? That's a win regardless of how many sales you closed. Did you complete your content creation schedule this week? That's a win, even if your audience growth isn't yet where you want it to be. By acknowledging and celebrating these process victories, you maintain momentum and motivation during the crucial foundation building phase. The fifth obstacle is what I call the negative influence factor. When you set an extraordinary goal, you'll often face skepticism, criticism, and even active discouragement from those around you. Sometimes this comes from a place of genuine concern. Your friends and family don't want to see you disappointed or financially strained. Sometimes it comes from their own limiting beliefs. Your ambition triggers their insecurities about what they settle for in their own lives. Either way, you must protect your mindset from these negative influences. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting people out of your life, but it does mean being selective about who you share your goals with, whose advice you take seriously, and how much time you spend with those who drain rather than fuel your ambition. Surround yourself with allies who believe in your vision, or at the very least, respect your right to pursue it without constant negativity. The sixth obstacle is what I call the focus fragmentation. As you begin seeing some success, you'll be tempted by new opportunities, ideas, and directions. This shiny object syndrome can dilute your focus and prevent you from achieving the concentration of effort required for extraordinary results. Combat this by establishing clear criteria for what deserves your attention. Any new opportunity must meet a high threshold of alignment with your primary goal, leverage of your existing assets and efforts, and potential return on investment of your time and resources. Be ruthless in saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. Remember, your goal isn't to do many things adequately, it's to do one thing extraordinarily well. The final and perhaps most dangerous obstacle is what I call the success plateau. Often after achieving initial success, we become comfortable. We ease up on our intensity. We start playing not to lose rather than playing to win. This is a natural human tendency, but it's fatal to extraordinary achievement. The path to $1 million in 6 months requires sustained intensity and continuous improvement throughout the entire period. Combat this by regularly raising your standards and targets. As soon as you hit a goal, set a more ambitious one. Constantly seek out areas where you can improve your performance, increase your efficiency, or expand your impact. These 7 obstacles: the belief backlash, the complexity trap, the cash flow gap, the expectation disconnect, the negative influence factor, the focus fragmentation, and the success plateau will test your commitment to your $1 million goal. But here's the good news: these obstacles are predictable. And because they're predictable, they're preventable, or at the very least, manageable if you anticipate them and prepare accordingly. The path to extraordinary wealth is never easy or straightforward. But the obstacles themselves often provide the very resistance that builds the strength, resourcefulness, and character required for sustainable success. The ethical dimensions of rapid wealth creation. Before we continue, I want to address something important. Creating substantial wealth quickly comes with significant ethical considerations. The goal is not just to become wealthy, but to do so in a way that aligns with your values and contributes positively to the world. First and foremost, rapid wealth creation should be based on value creation, not value extraction. The most sustainable and fulfilling path to wealth is to solve real problems for real people, to create products and services that improve lives, enhance efficiency, or bring joy and meaning to others. When your fortune is built on genuine value creation, you never have to worry about regulatory changes, market shifts, or technological disruptions undermining your business model. You're aligned with the fundamental principle that wealth follows value. Second, integrity must be non-negotiable in all your dealings. In the pursuit of rapid results, there will be temptations to cut ethical corners, to exaggerate claims, withhold information, to exploit loopholes, or to prioritize short-term gains over long-term relationships. Resist these temptations, not only because it's the right thing to do, but because a reputation for integrity is itself a valuable business asset. It attracts the best partners, employees, and customers. It reduces friction in your transactions. It builds the trust that allows for rapid scaling of your initiatives. Third, consider the broader impact of your wealth-building activities. Are you creating opportunities for others along the way? Are you building systems and structures that will continue to provide value even after you've met your personal financial goals? Are you contributing to solutions for significant challenges facing your community or the world? These questions aren't just philosophical, they're practical. Businesses and investments that address meaningful problems in sustainable ways often have the greatest long-term growth potential and resilience. Fourth, plan from the outset how your wealth will serve purposes beyond personal consumption and security. The most fulfilled, wealthy individuals see their resources as a means to create positive change, whether through philanthropy, impact investing, job creation, or other avenues that align with their values and vision. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy the fruits of your success, but it does mean recognizing that extraordinary wealth brings with it extraordinary opportunities to make a difference. Planning for this dimension of wealth from the beginning infuses your wealth-building journey with deeper meaning and purpose. Remember, money merely magnifies who you already are. If you're generous with little, you'll be generous with much. If you're ethical in small matters, you'll be ethical in large ones. The character you develop on the path to wealth is as important as the wealth itself. The implementation plan, your next 180 days. We've covered the mindset, the framework, the wealth accelerators, the daily disciplines, and how to overcome the inevitable obstacles. Now it's time to put it all together into a concrete implementation plan for your next 180 days. Month 1, foundation building. The first 30 days are about laying the groundwork for everything that follows. This is not yet the time for massive action, but rather for strategic preparation that will make your subsequent actions exponentially more effective. Weeks 1 to 2, deep market research and opportunity identification. Conduct exhaustive research in your chosen wealth accelerator. Identify 3 to 5 specific opportunities with $1 million potential. Analyze competitors and market gaps. Develop selection criteria for your primary focus. Weeks 3 to 4, strategic planning and resource organization. Select your primary opportunity based on your research. Develop a detailed 6-month strategic plan with monthly milestones. Identify the key resources you'll need: skills, relationships, capital, tools. Begin assembling your initial resource base. Create your measurement system for tracking progress. Throughout this first month, you'll also be immersing yourself in the mindset work we discussed earlier. Daily reading, affirmations, visualization, and relationship building with like-minded individuals will be ongoing activities that continue throughout the entire 6-month period. Month 2, rapid skill acquisition and initial implementation. By the second month, you should have clarity on your primary wealth building vehicle and the specific opportunity you'll pursue. Now it's time to rapidly develop the core competencies required and begin initial implementation. Weeks 5 to 6, skill development and knowledge acquisition. Identify the 3 to 5 most critical skills for your chosen opportunity. Invest heavily in developing these skills, courses, mentors, practice. Build relationships with 3 to 5 individuals who already excel in these areas. Create your personal standard operating procedures for key activities. Week 7 to 8, minimum viable product service investment. Develop the simplest version of your offering that can create value. Test it with a small segment of your target market. Gather feedback and make rapid refinements. Make your first sales or investments, no matter how small. Begin building testimonials and case studies. During this month, you'll likely face the initial resistance we discussed in the obstacles section. The belief backlash will be in full force as you encounter the gap between your vision and your current reality. This is the time to double down on your mindset work and surround yourself with supportive influences. Month 3, optimization and scale preparation. By the 3rd month, you should have a working model that's generating at least some results. Now, it's time to optimize that model and prepare for significant scaling. Weeks 9 to 10, data-driven optimization. Analyze results from your initial implementation. Identify the highest performing aspects of your approach. Eliminate or fix underperforming elements. Develop 3 to 5 tests to further improve results. Refine your messaging, offers, or investment criteria. Weeks 11 to 12, systems development for scale. Document all key processes in your operation. Identify bottlenecks that would prevent 10x growth. Develop solutions for each bottleneck, automation, delegation, elimination. Create the training materials needed for team expansion. Build relationships with potential scaling partners. During this month, you'll likely encounter the cash flow gap as you invest in optimization and scaling capacity before seeing the corresponding revenue increase. This is when your financial reserves and alternative income sources become crucial for maintaining momentum. Month 4, accelerated growth phase. By the 4th month, you should have a proven, optimized model that's ready for significant scaling. Now it's time to pour fuel on the fire. Weeks 13 to 14, team expansion and capacity building. Bring on key team members or service providers. Implement your scaling systems. Increase your production or marketing capacity significantly. Develop lead generation systems that can produce 10x your current volume. Build strategic partnerships for accelerated growth. Weeks 15 to 16, market expansion and offer enhancement. Expand into adjacent markets or customer segments. Develop premium offerings with higher profit margins. Implement upsell and cross-sell systems. Leverage initial successes for media exposure and credibility. Explore multiple traffic or customer acquisition channels. During this month, you'll likely face the focus fragmentation obstacle as new opportunities emerge from your growing success. Maintain ruthless focus on your primary path to $1 million, deferring other opportunities until after you've achieved your 6-month goal. Month 5, leverage and exponential growth. By the 5th month, you should be seeing significant results from your efforts. Now, it's time to apply maximum leverage for exponential rather than linear growth. Week 17 to 18, strategic leverage implementation. Secure investment or partnerships that can 10x your resources. Implement affiliate or referral programs to multiply your reach. Develop systems for reinvesting profits for compound growth. Create automated marketing and sales funnels. Build a content or media platform for audience leverage. Weeks 19 to 20, conversion and monetization optimization. Analyze your entire funnel for conversion improvement opportunities. Test pricing strategies to maximize both volume and margins. Implement retention and repeat business systems. Develop multiple monetization channels for the same assets. Create premium mastermind or high-ticket offerings. During this month, you may encounter the success plateau as you become comfortable with your growing success. Combat this by setting even more ambitious targets and continuing to raise your personal standards for performance and results. Month 6, integration and sustainability. By the final month, you should be on a clear trajectory toward your $1 million goal, if you haven't already reached it. Now it's time to ensure that your wealth is sustainable and continues to grow beyond the 6-month mark. Weeks 21 to 22, systems integration and automation. Integrate all components of your business or investment system. Automate as many processes as possible. Develop contingency plans for potential market shifts. Create a strategic decision-making framework for your team.